Sri Lanka is quietly becoming one of the most interesting countries in South Asia in 2026. For many people, it's a familiar name, but still not a fully understood place. It's often associated with beaches, tea, or wildlife, yet that surface-level image barely explains what the country really is. And that's exactly why Sri Lanka feels so compelling right now. Sri Lanka feels like one of the last places where the tropics still feel raw, affordable, and not completely shaped by outside expectations. It hasn't been fully packaged for mass tourism. When people finally spend real time here, they're often surprised by how much diversity exists within such a small island. Sri Lanka has a way of feeling much larger than it looks on a map. In just a few hours, you can move from palm-lined beaches to cool mountain towns, from busy city streets to quiet rural villages, from ancient ruins to modern neighborhoods. Every region carries its own personality. Some places feel calm and slow, others energetic and intense. Some feel deeply traditional, while others are clearly looking toward the future. Those contrasts are what make Sri Lanka unpredictable in the best way. You're never experiencing just one version of the country. The atmosphere changes quickly as you move through it, and that constant shift is part of what sets it apart. Sri Lanka has been shaped by thousands of years of history. Ancient kingdoms ruled the island long before modern borders existed. Trade routes connected it to India, the Middle East, and Southeast Asia, making it a crossroads of cultures. Later came European colonial powers, each leaving behind visible layers. Portuguese, Dutch, and British influence still appears in architecture, infrastructure, and everyday habits. What remains today is a blend you can feel everywhere, not only in famous historical sites, but in daily life. Ancient traditions, colonial legacies, religious practices, and modern influences all coexist. Nothing feels staged or artificial. Sri Lanka isn't a country where history is locked behind museum walls. It's a place where history still shapes how people live. That long and often difficult past has given Sri Lankans a strong sense of identity. There's pride in culture, pride in language, and pride in resilience. Few countries have experienced the combination of civil conflict, natural disasters, and economic hardship that Sri Lanka has faced over the last several decades. For a long time, the country felt disconnected from global progress. Years of civil war slowed development and limited opportunity. Later, economic crises created new challenges. Travel existed, but Sri Lanka wasn't fully part of the global conversation. When stability gradually returned, change didn't happen overnight. It came in waves. Slowly in some areas, more rapidly in others. That uneven pace of development is still visible today. Sri Lanka in 2026 feels like a country in transition. It's modernizing steadily, but daily life still carries traditions that haven't disappeared. Technology is more visible than ever, yet religion, family, and community remain central to everyday life. In Colombo, glass towers and new developments rise next to colonial-era buildings. International cafes, co-working spaces, and modern restaurants sit beside street food stalls and traditional markets. Traffic, noise, and ambition fill the streets, but so do temples, old trees, and daily rituals that haven't changed for generations. Outside the capital, life moves at a slower pace. Smaller towns still follow familiar rhythms. Shops close earlier. People know their neighbors. But even there, change is visible. Better roads, improved mobile coverage, new guest houses, and growing connections to the outside world are gradually reshaping everyday life. What makes this moment unique is that Sri Lanka hasn't yet gone through the full cycle of mass tourism. It's known but not overwhelmed. Many places still feel like they exist primarily for the people who live there, not for visitors. That sense of authenticity is becoming rare. One of the biggest reasons Sri Lanka is getting attention is cost. In 2026, it remains one of the more affordable countries in Asia for the lifestyle it offers. Renting a one-bedroom apartment in a decent area typically ranges from $350 to $550 per month, depending on location. Outside major urban centers, rents can drop to $250 or even lower. Utilities, including electricity, water, and internet, usually add another $120 to $180 per month. This means many people can live comfortably on $900 to $1,100 per month, depending on lifestyle choices and location. Food remains one of Sri Lanka's strongest advantages. A simple local meal often costs $2 to $4. Even eating out regularly doesn't feel expensive. A solid dinner for two at a mid-range restaurant is rarely more than $25 to $30. Fresh produce is widely available year-round, and shopping locally keeps grocery costs low. Transportation is affordable as well. Buses and trains are extremely cheap, even if they're not always fast or comfortable. Ride-hailing apps and taxis are widely used and reasonably priced. Mobile data is reliable and inexpensive, which is one reason remote workers and digital nomads are starting to take notice. What stands out isn't just the low numbers, but what you get for them. Life in Sri Lanka doesn't feel cheap, it feels manageable. You can enjoy warm weather, fresh food, social connection, and access to nature without constant financial pressure. Sri Lankan culture places a strong emphasis on hospitality. Guests are welcomed openly, often with genuine curiosity rather than commercial politeness. Family plays a central role in daily life. Traditions are passed down naturally, not formally. Religious festivals shape the calendar and bring communities together. Visitors often notice how approachable people are. Conversations start easily. Help is offered freely. There's pride in sharing the country, especially because for a long time, Sri Lanka was known internationally more for struggle than opportunity. Younger Sri Lankans are deeply connected to the wider world. Many speak excellent English. They follow global trends, work online, and think internationally. At the same time, cultural roots remain strong. The result is a society that feels dynamic, not stuck in the past, but not abandoning it either. Tourism is growing steadily, but Sri Lanka still hasn't reached saturation. There are no endless rows of mega resorts dominating every coastline. Instead, you find smaller hotels, family-run guest houses, and locally owned cafes. Many coastal and inland towns still look and feel lived in, not designed solely for visitors. That creates a sense of discovery that many travelers feel they've lost elsewhere. People often arrive curious but cautious and leave genuinely surprised. They talk about the atmosphere, the kindness, and the feeling that Sri Lanka doesn't resemble any other destination they've visited. Word of mouth is one of the main reasons interest is rising so quickly. Compared to destinations like Thailand or Bali, Sri Lanka feels less commercialized. Compared to many parts of Europe, it feels more affordable and less crowded. It occupies a rare middle ground, developed enough to be comfortable yet untouched enough to feel real. For retirees, Sri Lanka offers a slower pace of life and lower living costs. For digital nomads, it offers affordability, improving infrastructure, and reliable internet. For investors, it represents a country still early in its development curve, with long-term potential. The government continues investing in infrastructure. Roads, airports, ports, and digital services are improving steadily. Progress isn't instant, but it's consistent. That gradual pace suggests long-term planning rather than short-term tourism profit. So why does Sri Lanka feel different in 2026? It's not one single reason. It's the combination of things. The affordability, the cultural depth, the variety of landscapes, the fact that it hasn't been overwhelmed by mass tourism, the way it blends old traditions with modern change. Above all, it's the sense of discovery. In many parts of the world, discovery is long gone. Places have been reshaped to meet expectations. Prices rise, authenticity fades. Daily life becomes secondary to tourism. In Sri Lanka, that hasn't fully happened yet. Daily life still belongs to locals. Visitors are welcomed, but the country hasn't been rebuilt around them. That creates a freshness people don't expect anymore. Sri Lanka is still balancing its past and its future. On one side, you see resilience shaped by hardship. On the other, you see openness, ambition, and a younger generation eager to connect with the world. That balance is what gives the country its energy. Sri Lanka is no longer just a destination on a travel list. It's a country in transition. It offers landscapes as varied as almost anywhere in Asia, a culture shaped by history and endurance, and a cost of living that makes a good life possible without constant financial strain. For travelers, it surprises. For expats, it makes sense. For anyone looking for a new chapter, it feels realistic. In a world that often feels crowded, rushed, and overpriced, Sri Lanka stands out as one of the last places where discovery still feels genuine.